I'm a woman, in my early 20s, and I've lived in New York City my whole life, so navigating the MTA at any time of day or night is second nature to me. For context, my one-way commute from the city to home is about 2 hours each way, involving 2 trains, a 30-minute bus ride, and then a dimly lit 5-block walk home. After doing it for so many years, I usually don't think twice about it, but there are 2 nights I still replay in my head all the time. The first instance happened on the train. I had just stepped on right before the doors closed, so I stayed standing near them. I had headphones in, but I could faintly hear a homeless man saying something at me. At first I ignored it, assuming he was talking to himself, but he kept staring directly at me. So I took out one earbud and asked what he said. That's when I clearly heard him angrily insult me and call me a bitch. My heart instantly started pounding. I still remember how hot my ears and face felt. It was like all the blood rushed straight to my skin. I started trying to make eye contact with other passengers, silently hoping someone else would acknowledge what was happening, but nobody would hold my gaze for more than a second. Everyone just looked away. At the next stop, even though it wasn't my stop, I got off and quickly moved into the next car over, desperately hoping the man wouldn't come out and notice where I went. The unsettling part is that this honestly isn't even unusual while commuting in New York. Most of the time you just keep your head down and try not to engage with whoever the aggressor is. Still, I kept glancing through the train windows, waiting to see if he followed me. 2 stops later, I finally saw him step off the train. I didn't even realize I'd been holding my breath until the doors closed behind him. The second instant CE happened when I was in grad school. I had night classes that ended around 8:30 p.m. So by the time I caught the bus home, it would usually be well after 10. Late night bus rides always feel different, quieter, and more unpredictable. Usually the drivers only stop if someone pulls the string or requests it. That night I was listening to horror stories during my commute, and the specific story I was listening to was about a woman being followed. So when I got off the bus, I remember lowering the volume and becoming extra aware of my surroundings. The final part of my commute requires me to walk past a couple of stores before turning down a dark residential dead-end street with terrible lighting. One of the stores I pass is a pub. I remember debating whether or not I wanted mac and cheese, but I had already passed the store and was almost at the end of the block before deciding to turn around and go back. That's when I noticed the man from the bus. Up until that moment, I hadn't paid attention to him at all, but the second I changed direction, he literally stopped walking like he froze. Then he just stared at me wide-eyed. It immediately made me uneasy, but I tried to brush it off and went into Popeyes anyway. They barely had anything left because it was so late, so after a minute I left and continued heading home. It wasn't until I was halfway down the block that I noticed him again. He was standing right at the entrance of the dark street I had to turn down. He was just standing there, waiting. At that point, my pace slowed immediately and I called my brother. He's usually never home, so the fact that he answered honestly felt like a miracle. I think he could hear something was wrong from my voice alone, because the second I told him I was by Popeyes, he immediately said he was coming to meet me. Knowing my brother was on the way, I finally turned down the dark street and passed the man, and then I heard footsteps behind me. The man had started walking too. He stayed behind me, matching my pace, and then he quietly told me that he loved me before mumbling other things that I couldn't understand. At that point, I decided it was safer to stay somewhere with light, so I walked back to the store area and waited outside a liquor store nearby. Since I live in the neighborhood, I recognized a lot of the men who usually hung around there, and I remember scanning the area hoping to spot a familiar face, but that night I didn't recognize anyone. That's when the man approached me. He repeatedly asked if I needed help, and insisted that he could help me, while slowly moving closer. I said no loudly more than once. And honestly, if he genuinely thought I was lost and wanted to help, that would be one thing, but I was clearly saying no over and over and he just kept advancing toward me anyway. Then I noticed he was wearing latex gloves. This was post-COVID, so my immediate thought was that if he was that cautious, why wasn't he wearing a face mask too? And it wasn't even cold outside, so the gloves looked completely out of place. Then he started repeatedly telling me that I needed to go home, almost like he was trying to pressure me into walking past him again. A few seconds later he walked into the liquor store, and the second I saw him move further inside, I turned the corner where my brother was finally walking toward me. The entire situation probably lasted 5 minutes at most, but it felt so much longer than that. That's the strange thing about moments like these. They happen fast afterward when you replay them in your head, but while you're living through them, time barely moves.